Hey, what's going on, guys? How you guys been? Hope you guys are doing good. It's been a while since I kind of done one of these videos where I'm, reading scripture and talking with you guys, or just kind of sharing my thoughts as I read it. But I like this verse today, and I wanted to share it with you guys and talk with you guys, and also just kind of for myself too, to kind of be a reminder of, what it is that we're, what he's talking about here, and kind of put more perspective in for my own self that I gotta understand. It's coming out of John chapter 6. The verse of the day, or verse of the day I want to read you guys, is from chapter 6, verse 35. And Jesus replied, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry again. Whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. In the context of this verse, he was talking first to the people. There's people talking about, God, Jesus right here is saying, essentially he's saying, no, I'm the bread of life. I am the one that comes and brings life. I am the one that brings hope to you guys. I am the one that brings satisfaction to your hearts and souls. And it's not natural bread. It's not natural resources or money or whatever it may be that you're trying to fill that blank in. The people are like, hey, well, Moses is the one that gave us that food, and he gave his people food in the wilderness. And it's like, no, and Jesus is like, no, Moses didn't, my father did. God is the one that provided for him the whole time. So in the context of right here, and it kind of explains more of what he was talking about there. But I like how he says that, says, I am the bread of life. Whoever believes in me will never be hungry. Whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. Trying to get right to this point here of saying, like, we're all hungry and thirsty for something, whether or not just be food or anything like that, but it's also material things. What do we work for? What do we live for? What are we yearning for? What are the things that we're putting our time and effort in? And what Jesus is ultimately saying, at least from my perspective, what I'm getting, and I'm trying to apply it to my life and understand that, that Jesus is going to be enough. We can seek after, having a good job. We can seek after having, a lot of money, a lot of resources and stuff like that. So stuff like that's not bad. Just don't let it become your everything or the things that kind of bring your source of life. I'm not saying you guys are having that, but I'm just saying there is somebody that has that understanding of, like, unless I have this, and I'll be happy. Unless I have that, I'll be happy. But right here, Jesus is saying, look, you're never going to find satisfaction, or you're never going to find true fulfillment in that. You're going to find it only in me. So when he's saying, like, those who, believe in him will never be hungry. When you believe in Jesus, when you believe in him, you're not going to be hungry or thirst for the things that that is fleeting and fading away in this world. We all know and aware that stuff in this life is not always consistent. It doesn't always last. It doesn't continue to bring us something that we that we did last week, or something that we do before isn't going to fill us like that. Like if something you ate last week or yesterday as filling isn't going to always carry you on to the next week or so. You got to constantly keep filling yourself up. So that's that. But I think in the concept of, like, I need to do this, I need to go do that, and I need that constant thing to keep filling me and keeping me feeling gratitude or feeling fulfillment or satisfaction. Jesus is saying, like, you're always going to look for that stuff. You're always going to keep looking and looking. It's never going to be enough. But if you look to me for, as and hope and saying, like I will be the one that's going to be there for you. Like, if you look to me, you won't be having a hunger for all this stuff. I will be enough for you, because he is enough for us. Essentially, he is enough for us. So what he's telling us right now, what he's telling us here is that, hey, look, all of the stuff you seek and look for and that are trying to, like, bring you satisfaction and bring you fulfillment, like, what am I living for? What is going to get me through the day? All that stuff's going to it's not going to ever be enough, and it's never going to be enough. But Jesus is saying, look, I am going to be enough. So if you look to me, you will find satisfaction in your hearts. You will find satisfaction in your souls. You won't have to hunger for something that isn't going to fill you up. It's not going to satisfy you. You're not going to be enough for me to be like, okay, if I get this, this is going to carry me on for life. This is going to carry me. No, it's not. Jesus is like, look, I'm the only one that's going to be able to carry you through this, and I'm only the one that's enough. So I just wanted to share with you guys, because, like I said, I even have to tell myself that too. Like, if I'm running up to certain things, looking up to certain things, like I said, things aren't bad. If we're looking for certain, like, if we're hoping for certain things, relationships, a job, good paying job, money, stuff like that, and having a relationship with someone or family and people like that. That's all good stuff, but don't let that be your source of hope. Don't let that be your source of like, man, like, if I don't have, like I need, like, this has to be something. If I don't have this, then what do I have, kind of thing. But with Jesus, we can have none of that and have him and still have everything. It just depends on our hearts and our perspective of how we're going to believe it, how we're going to look into it, understand it. Like, okay, look, God, like I know that you give those things, so in you I'm going to believe and trust that, regardless of what it is. All these other things are nice to have, but I'm not going to let that be my source of, like, I need to have this. Jesus is the only thing we're ever going to be enough of. He's the only thing that's ever going to fill us up, satisfy us. And so I just want to encourage you with that. Like I said, I'm encouraging myself with that too. Like, okay, hey, it reminds me, like, hey, okay, I said, don't run after the things of this world. Don't run after the things that I know is not going to be enough for fulfilling. I run to Jesus, then it's going to be fine. I know that he would help me. I know he's going to encourage me. And I know that everything's going to be well taken care of, because God doesn't, God will always provide. I look at my life and it's like, man, he's always been there. He's always provided. I've never gone without because of how faithful he is. And so I just want to encourage you guys with that today. I know it's a long video and just talking with you guys. It's been about 5 minutes, but I just wanted to let you guys know that, hey, keep seeking after God, keep seeking after Jesus. All these other things, don't make that your thing, because if you keep hungering for it, you're gonna want more. You're gonna want more. You want more. You're never gonna be satisfied. But if you find it in Jesus, if you find Him, you find that hope, that satisfaction, that peace, that joy, that strength. That you find that you look to Him in it, everything else will work out and you'll be fine. So God bless you guys. Love you guys. Hope you guys are all doing good. And yeah, take care.